our third and final finalist team for this challenge is the AI team. So let's have a look at what they've been doing.
My name is Christian, and I'm an electrical engineer from Stuttgart. And during a sleepless night, I found the data-ton challenges. Our first joint project was Eurotrip back in 2004. There, we traveled around Europe. We bought a used car in Alicante, which we then drove to Paris. But anyway, more about our recent sleepless nights.
I'm Thomas, electrical engineer from Stuttgart, and I'm hacking the front end of our app. I'm a project manager for photovoltaic power plants, and I'm bringing my knowledge about public procurement processes to the team. Recently, I had some sleepless nights.
I'm Stefan. I'm an electrical engineer from Stuttgart, and I'm hacking the backend of our app. I'm a telecommunications engineer, and I bring my knowledge about databases and network TV to the team. Recently, I had some sleepless nights.
In our app, we want to help people understand how public procurement and tenders work in Europe and make projects like this more transparent.
Hello everybody. Public procurement is the biggest market in Europe. You have seen this and heard this already before. According to a recent OECD study, about 15%, the lady before said 14%, is spent directly on public procurement in Europe. But how is that spent? We talked to many companies, we talked to public authorities, we talked to ministries, we talked to people doing in daily business, they do procure goods, services, and consultings. And we even were talking to lawyers specialized in public procurement. And they all told us the same. The public procurement process is organized in the public procurement regulation. They're great. But what does that mean? That means it makes it a bit bureaucratic, it makes it a bit slow, and it makes it also hard for changes. So, but how the process does it look? We have the authorities giving out notices, and the companies, they're doing the bids on. And the best bid is the winner, but just in theory. Because in reality, we looked into the data, and only a few companies are winning the really big contracts. And this is a problem, we think. But how could we tackle this problem? We looked into TED data. Maybe TED data could help. But we have heard today several times, TED data is very hard to digest without prior knowledge. And the pure amount of open data in terms of authorities, contract data, and also winning companies makes it super hard in order to recognize trends or gather further information. So what we try to do is we try to organize it in an app and make that more transparent. And we made an app. We made an app for citizens just want to know where their tax money goes. We also made the app for companies to want to explore new businesses, new markets, and want to look into if there could be a potential new customer in terms of a public authority. We also made it for local authorities. They want to learn from each other in order to improve the procurement processes. And last but not least, also European auditing is a customer because they are very interested in checking their rules, changing the rules maybe, and even if they have new directives derived, if they already arrived to national economies. And here it is. It's the TED graph, transparency-enabled data. In the upper part of the TED graph, you see a map. It's a geographical map based on the NUTS regions. And thereon, you see stars, which are the authorities giving out the contracts. In the middle part, you see our awesome TED graph. The TED graph, organized as well as our groups before, organizes the authorities in yellow, the winning companies in turquoise, and the notices in pink. And on the lower part, you have a region where it's a shopping basket, and you can also do export function and exchange information with other tools, or just an audience or other colleagues you want to work on the data. But let's get into the use cases. One of the use cases could, for example, be you just explore the region around you. Who is giving out contracts, what the authorities are, who are winning the contracts, and you see the colors. A red color is, as also from our colleagues before, in red over 1 million in contract volume. So if you, for example, click on a company here, you see that company is doing very well because there are a lot of notices below and also a lot of authorities they are serving to. So in theory, you could just click into and look deeper in if there is some interesting data for you. But what also could be, you click on the map, and when you click on the map, you suddenly see where all the authorities are based in the regions, and you look deeper into where this company is sold to. And for example, there's one company, and they are based not in Germany, but they are based in France. And here you see then there are also other authorities, other companies who they gave out contracts as well. And you as well, you see on the info card on the right, you see the complete volume. So another use case could be if you want to work for the European Parliament. And you just type in the search engine European Parliament. You look into the awesome TED graph, and there it appears. And you see, there is one notice, pretty interesting. And there are a lot of, here you see it, and there are a lot of winners as well. But what's that directly? Here you see, it's about translation and translation services. And the volume of it is about 18 million of euros. So there's quite a bit of money in. So if you're a translator or you want to be a translator, you should think about working for the European Parliament. And now the third. We have a third use case, and there we're using, as you already have seen in our trailer, the reconstruction project of the Stuttgart main station. Here, again, we're pulling out the balloon set of authority and is combined together with all the notices and all the contracts. There are many, that's why it's a bit slow here. And we look deeper into. What you also can see is, apart from contracts, notices, and the authority, that you also have brown and violet bubbles. And those are the companies in the business registers and their officers owning them. And normally you have straight lines here. But what you also have is, on the upper part, you have crossing lines, which is interesting and a bit strange. So look deeper into. And when you look deeper into, you see two companies are owned by each other, which is a bit strange because in the beginning, they look totally different and they have different names, but they owned by the same people, which could be interesting for auditing or rule makers, for example. This is the third example. But what is under the hood? A list of data sets we were using, you see here. For our map, we were using, of course, OpenStreetMap data and data from eceurope.eu for the NUTS regions, and as well for the inclusion of the GDPs, we used the Eurostat Data Explorer. For our graph, we were using, of course, the TED database, as well as the EU Transparency Register, the business registers, and as well we included a list of sanctioned people also from the US, but also from the European Union. We are cross-checking the names of the offices or the names of the companies together. Actually, we are in a beta phase. And at that point, we hope some of our partners are also watching today, and we want to already thank them for the support and for the inclusion in the use cases that we could already optimize our app until the state it is right now. But what we also want to do, we want to add some new parameters. We want to include this app in a better future for Europe if we could do more transparency in public procurement. For example, a sustainability score from 1 to 100, and we include this in the notices. That could be super interesting. And we're really looking forward. And it's us, it's the AI team. And we thank you a lot for the audience and the questions. Sorry, there's one more thing. It was deleted. Here, if you don't start the journey, you will never reach the peak. Here's our roadmap. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your presentation. We have a question from an audience member asking, what was the most catchy part that you found out? What struck out to you when you were doing this?
Maybe the company that you just showed, huh? I think.
The company, definitely, and there are a couple of other companies. Yeah, but we didn't want to name them, of course, here officially.
Okay,
so,
fair enough.
There is some sketchy things going on.
And how would you design a transparency number for each notice?
Actually, we put it already on the roadmap. We think we need to work closer together with the ministries, and they already have these goals: digitalization and sustainability, and also transparency was already shown on the introduction. So I think we need to work closer with the ministries, but we can learn, for example, from Euro NCAP or US NCAP. They are for safety for cars, and there is one regulation and one way you get the score, which makes it then also comparable to others. So if it's a Chinese car, a German car, a US car, or a startup car, they all get the same rating. And if they have 5 stars, it's a super safe car. So if we have a score of 100, we are a super transparent procurement notice, for example. If we are a 1, we are not so good, and sustainability, same thing. So yeah, 1 is oil and gas, and 100 is solar.
And if there was any one additional data set or source of data that you would have liked to have added in, if you could wave a magic wand, what would that be?
Well, I would say for the identification of holdings and companies, I think the hardest part is linking them together. So because what's missing also in business register data that's open available is the persons that are behind the companies often.
Okay, so still some work to do. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Good luck, and that's... And that's it for Challenge 2, and I hope you've been persuaded of the importance of this particular challenge as well. So we're going to take a lunch break now, and we're going to come back after that and do our 2 remaining challenges that are on the agenda before going to the Public Choice Award. So don't go far, there's still a lot more come and 6 more teams to hear from.